Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Judgment. You must seem a paragon of efficiency and civility. Your hands must never be soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as unwitting pawns and screens to disguise your involvement. Keys to power. Occasional mistakes are inevitable. The world is just too unpredictable. People of power, however, are undone not by the mistakes they make, but by the way they deal with them. Like surgeons, they must cut away the tumour with speed and finality. It is often wise to choose the most innocent victim possible as a sacrificial goat. Such people will not be so powerful enough to fight you, and their naive protests may be seen as protesting too much. Indeed, in other words, protesting too much is seen as a sign of guilt. Be careful, however, not to create a martyr. It is important that you remain the victim. The poor leader, betrayed by the incompetence of his men and those around him. If the scapegoat appears too weak, however, on the other side, and his punishment too cruel, you may end up the victim of your own device. You may become the hunted witch. Sometimes you should find a more powerful scapegoat who will elicit less sympathy in the long run. As a leader, you must never dirty your hands with ugly tasks or bloody deeds. Anything that will make you look ugly and abusive of your high position. Yet power cannot survive without the constant squashing of enemies. There will always be dirty little tasks that have to be done to keep you in power. What is required better than the scapegoat is the cat's paw. Someone who does the dirty work, the dangerous work for you. Similar to the scapegoat, the cat's paw will help you preserve your spotless reputation. The cat's paw will usually be a person from outside your immediate circle, who will therefore be unlikely to realize how he or she is being used. You will find these dupes everywhere, people who enjoy doing you favors, especially if you throw them a minimal bone or two in exchange. The easiest way and most effective way to find a cat's paw is often to plant information with him that will then spread to your primary target, your enemies, perhaps. False or planted information is a powerful tool, especially if spread by a dupe whom no one suspects. You will find it very easy to play innocent and disguise yourself as the source. In any event, you must always get someone else to be the executioner or be the bearer of bad news, while you bring only joy and glad tidings. My thanks to the author, Robert Greene. 48 books. tale of the honeypot trap. Getting rid of the honeypot trap. The cat's paw. Indeed, 209, a man fitted up on the back streets of Notting Hill. A deviant, dark underworld, fueled by the cocaine commodity. The streets are colourful with all a mass of characters, fitted up as a scapegoat, because sirens were down at the scene, watching, being very busy, watching all these colourful scenes. The paranoia seeped in on the streets, which gets back to Mr. Big. Mr. Big gets paranoid. He has a puppet master. The puppet master then devises a stratagem to soothe everyone's anxiety. A future whipping boy. Indeed, a patsy. An Aunt Sally. We've found one. There's a man who's a bit of a clown, looking for affiliation, probably procreation. There he sits on these hierarchical tables, being a bit of a goat. The laughing goat. They see him as, this could be a cure or a remedy for our crop plantation, shall we say, for it to grow back, meaning we can gain control back over our streets to dish out our commodity. Indeed, the crop will grow back. At the moment, we cannot grow the crop. In other words, we cannot maneuver this crop on the street. So it will grow back as the goat's head, the saying of the goat's head. Once you chop off the goat's head, the crop grows back. This is an old belief system from the Aztecs, taken from also Africa into the Caribbean and certain places. Still has a belief system in certain parts of the Caribbean, Haiti being one place. Very small minority of people, though. Witch doctors and voodoo they believe in. And indeed, so we come on to that later. So one man is being fitted by these cartel members for the scapegoat, as the scapegoat whipping boy for the future of their anxiety, to hold hostage in a noose effect against one man, against the police, sirens, shall we say, the busy sirens. This noose effect will be achieved in 209. So one man at the expense of one man. That man, the innocent bystander, who's just come down to affiliate, whom they all start to say, you are a grass, an informant, a spokesman. Yes, you are. We haven't seen you here before. This student, nervous man, looking for affiliation, has just come out of university for a summer holiday. His mother passing away of malignant melanoma. He does not know these people. He does not mix with these people, but he finds himself within this context. Hades is in charge of this underworld. Hades is a strong man of the Walking Dead. He rises the dead. Very powerful. So we have this future hostage created by these, cooked up by the puppet master for a Mr. Big to keep him in power of the streets. This future Aunt Sally, patsy, whipping boy, will be released, will be the release rather of their anxiety, their future fear and anxiety of what may happen to them, meaning their collapse, meaning their death, meaning their non-existence. That means the death of the group context, not a physical form, but it means like a spiritual form of finished. It also can relate to the physical. If you are shut out of something, it is like a collapse. This man this innocent bystander, now fitted up, now hunted across the street, across the land, through the gardens, through the wilderness, by what starts off with 6 cutthroat brothers, now has 200 cutthroat brothers. The year 2010 comes. He's being pursued now by the sirens in these covert machines of menace. The circus of Circe, so shall we say. This circus of Circe, this evil witch, they are driving these machines, these covert machines of menace around this one man, feigning to give him covert protection against Hades, whom are also tracking him, these cutthroat brothers across the land, and these voodoo operators with menacing looking eyes that look through you as if they're growing out of the shrubs. These people appearing out of nowhere. A terrifying ordeal for this hunted man. What is he to do? So now we have to find a way to get rid of this cat's paw, because he is becoming a nuisance. We have used him as our honeypot trap. This honeypot trap has attracted every criminal out. All the criminals now marching through, these cutthroat brothers, these voodoo operators, these sinister-looking cartel members like walking zombies, all walking the streets like penguins. Eyes menacing. Penguins like souls gone, no soul. Dehumanizing this one man on the streets as if he is the non-entity. So, we find an agent, government agent, GP, who arrives at the medical center. What she does is she monitors this man also, encircles him also on the streets. When he returns back from a witch hunt, when he's been spat at, abused, sang to, whistled at, punched, headbutted, challenged by hundreds, encircled tightly, the fear immense, then this one medical GP agent, highly qualified, but working covertly under the government, assisting the sirens, conspiring to take this man out, obviously. The tale gets more sinister as we go on. This one man, this hunted man, now half god, half man, Odysseus, they call him, has risen, stronger than ever, with strategies, but he still has fear, like an animal being tracked and hunted through the wilderness. He's fearful for his life. He now faces being locked up in a dark asylum. This GP now sends him to a psychiatrist where he sees a 4'11" quack, where he goes, "Do you imagine cars following you? There's a statement from a GP here, medical advice, saying that you imagine cars. Do you imagine gangs following you?" "No," the man says, "I do not imagine anything like that. I am being hunted by organized criminals. Do you mind if I give you an injection with amitriptyline?" "No, you cannot," he says. 6 months later, he runs through that ward. 2 minutes later, full of walking zombies. Neurotransmitters completely dead, gone, walking zombies, neurologically gone. They were like walking zombies. All of a sudden, 6 months later, comes to 2012. The man suddenly, 2015, suddenly, he's spotlighted by the sirens. 2016, they're hunting him. They spotlight him for reporting that he's being hunted, just for the tale of event. It gets more dark and sinister. This hunted man, how can we get rid of this cat's paw? We have to find him a place, maybe a dark asylum, fixed up by a nice hot spicy, perhaps Afro-Caribbean hot spicy soup. Yes, and then a nice noose effect. The cat's paw, the riddance of him. Dark tale.